If you lump all of those things together, which they're trying to do, and there all are some common threads, you also have to lump Hillary and the DNC and all of their past. These stories are really closely tied. All of the stuff with her emails and then all of the reports of her dealings with
this is what bothers me about this.
Yeah.
What bothers me about this is we're not being consistent. Our side's not being consistent. I think we are, but our side's not being consistent. We were outraged by what Hillary Clinton did. Well, that's what he did on the first one. We said she wasn't qualified because of the way she handled confidential information.
And we can go one step further than that. I mean, you mentioned we wouldn't have accepted this from Obama. We know that because we have, and I have it up here on my screen, when the Obama White House accidentally revealed the name of the CIA station chief in Afghanistan. It wasn't even Obama personally. They accidentally included his name in that release of people who were going with him in a surprise trip. Conservatives freaked out. I mean, I remember when that happened. It was a total and absolute freak out when that happened.
Well, I wonder if part of it is that there is still so much confusion on this. The investigation isn't finished, isn't concluded.
It hadn't even started.
But so the second point, reported that Israel provided the classified intelligence. Is that reported? What are the sources? Because then Trump came out and said he never did.
No, Israel did
right?
come out. Israel did come out and say that they were the city. I don't believe them myself. I think that's a red herring. I mean, I think it's Syria or Jordan or someplace like that.
See, that's so fascinating to me. Understanding even that aspect of this web, each one of these has so many components to it that you have to understand in order to fully understand any one of these stories.
That's why teams are so dangerous now. For us just to put jerseys on are so dangerous.
Because the comparisons to Watergate is there was a crime that Nixon was trying to cover up. We don't even know if there was a crime yet.
And Hillary Clinton was the same thing. She had a server in her home. She knew that was not, federal law.
This also isn't some liberal fantasy to take down Trump. There's some legitimate questions we have to get answered. So we have to not jump into our teams. There's some legitimate questions we need to answer, but we shouldn't make a hyperbole about every little story.
The problem is we've also made this Russia thing about Donald Trump. I mean, Russia, we know, is involved in our elections. We know that has nothing. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump.
Yes.
He didn't call WikiLeaks and say, "Hey, go do this." He didn't have anything to do. I don't think had anything to do with that.
And the leaks themselves are another story.
Right.
Would this have been a story had Hillary Clinton been elected?
No.
Would we be talking about her connection to Russia or their interaction in our election?
That's a good point.
It's a double standard.
I think that this kind of confusion here is how Donald Trump survives and is how he has survived so long. In politics, in order for the media to destroy someone, they have to be able to focus on one thing. That's how they get at a politics. They find one thing and they hammer on it and they hammer on it.
This is like 5 things.
Trump has never allowed that to happen. And when you watch another 2-3 days, he'll do or say something else that will take all of this out of the news. And by doing that, he's preventing them from locking on to a single target.
Well, Alan Dershowitz on number 1 on Monday was saying this is the most egregious thing any president has ever been charged with.
That's insane.
But he was saying this is so egregious for what the president said. Well, Tuesday, everybody forgot about Monday. I mean, it really is overwhelmed the system. And this week, he's over in the Middle East. I mean, he's already gotten good reviews over in Saudi Arabia. And he's the first sitting American president to visit the Western Wall, which I find
I was shocked by that too.
shocking.
Yeah.
Turns out like Barack Obama went when he was a senator. So most go after their presidency or before their presidency, but they don't go as president because they don't want to get in that sticky situation.
It's a big, bold statement for him to go as president because
Yes.
he is going to take heat for it.
Would have been interesting for him to go up on the Temple Mount itself and visit the Muslim site as well. I know when I was over in Israel, we did our event right there, and I was asked. I wanted to go see. I've never been on the Temple Mount before, and I've been I don't know, 10 times. And I was asked by the Prime Minister's office not to go because and I said, I'll go at 6 o'clock in the morning. Nobody will be there. I was asked not to go because they thought it would start problems. Can you imagine the president if he would have gone up? But it would have been a nice gesture to go up to that site as well. Because it is, I mean, it is literally just above him on the Western Wall. Back in just a second.